Hello, I wrote a song. Stay there, you bastard. Life can get a little hard sometimes. Life can get a little hard sometimes. Hey Sammy, how are you doing? I was wondering whether you fancy coming down to the pub a little bit later, you know, get a bit too drunk if anything, and then send embarrassing pictures to our exes. I'm giving you till the count of 3 till you get the fuck off my fucking land. 1.
Your mother was a toad and your father was from motherfucking Arkansas.
2.
You look like a sweaty octopus trying to unhook a lady's brassiere.
3.
You're not even the best I've had.
And your love has come too late. I waited at the garden gate. Pick me up when the bluebells are ringing. Lucy, remember the smell of that forest, the fires, the fungus, and the rotting leaves. So the song is about a guy called Douglas, obviously. The song, I went down to visit my grandparents. They live nearby, and my granddad's health was failing quite a little bit. So there's a sort of there's a place where older people from the community went to have lunch, so they could sort of they could, you know, they could chat to each other, they could be social, so they weren't like shut indoors all the time. Which, you know, and you know, it was a very. The song isn't about that. It was about a guy there called Douglas who the song is based off. He, you know, with everyone else in there, they were very quiet. That, you know, as I expect older people to be. And there was Douglas, and he was wearing a Primark t-shirt. It was bright yellow with a pink thing down there. And he comes up and he comes up to me and said, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And you know, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." And he said, "Oh, what's your name?" And I said, "Oh, I'm Jowan." I was feeling a little bit tired, so let's slur my words a little bit. So he said, John the Baptist." And and he had this very sort of youthful, very sort of Peter Pan-like. Very Peter Pan element to him, and I thought, oh my god, this is later on, it's around about the time I was listening to a lot of Jens Lekman. He was writing about his friends. I thought, you know, I really want to write about Douglas, because he was a very sad individual, but also very heroic. I'm very glad to have met Douglas. Very glad. I saw him in the coffee shop. Where I arrived a couple of weeks later, and we had a very in-depth talk. You know, he's very interested in human beings, and I'm very I worry about him sometimes, but I'm so glad to have met him. I'm so glad that someone very sort of expressive and very in awe of the world. You know, certainly as an older gent. It's a very difficult one, because as I was saying earlier, you listen to an album and you go to a live show, and you listen to that 45 minutes worth of music in completely different ways. So as such, I like to tailor the live stuff more, make it more energetic, tell really crap jokes. But with the studio stuff, it's much more ornate. With the studio stuff, it changes all the time. It's singer-songwriter, but not singer-songwriter. When you think of a singer-songwriter, you think of a very sort of something in the Bob Dylan, Nick Drake sort of sense, where it's very studied, it's very intricate. I take that format of guy with guitar who's singing about things, singing about love, or singing about a friend, or something very personal, and put my spin on it. I'm really not intricate live, terrible live, but I sing a lot better. It's much louder, it's much more rocky, if you like. I'm a singer-songwriter, but louder, but louder and with less talent on the guitar. I like the term inspiration. This song, the Dear Douglas song, was directly inspired by Laura Marling, who's a folk singer who I really admire. She's a wonderful singer. I wanted to write a song in her voice. So Laura Marling's one of the people who inspires me, because she does take that singer-songwriter vibe, but gives her own slant to it, and her songs are incredible. I've already talked about Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, Daniel Johnston, Morrissey. I was Morrissey, age 16. And on my very first album, very collection of songs that I recorded, you hear Morrissey all of the time, and I've recently got back into him, and he's fantastic. Oh, who else? Joanna Newsom, her East album is really good. She's a classical harp player. Van Dyke Parks is another one. Beach Boys, Pet Sounds, Psychedelic Era is another one. The Beatles. When I was drunk once, I almost went into a tattoo place and said, I want Paul McCartney's face on my face. Thankfully I was talked out of that one, but it happened. I really like the Strawbs. They worked with Sandy Denny before Sandy Denny was in the Fairport Convention. Completely other side of it, but did an album called Sampler, which was really good. There's a song called Stay a While With Me, which just gets you there all of the time. And I've Been My Own Worst Friend. There's a duo called the Luthen Brothers, who are a country duo. I grew up on country music because my dad wanted to be a cowboy, who was fantastic. Yeah, so it's my earliest musical memories were of singing let her go, God bless her, she is mine everywhere she may be, and just having a really good time, yeehawing all the time, really good. I prefer doing it in the studio, because I have a skill set. I can sing. I kind of play guitar. I can write songs. I write songs that I like. If I don't like a song, it just doesn't get written. I've got loads of half-written bits and bobs, which just suck. So I like my songs. I like my singing voice. But producers have an entirely different skill set. They have oh god, producers are amazing. They have a very sort of fine-tuned ear. Like, you know, say I did 3 takes of a guitar bit. I wouldn't be able to distinguish between them, but the producer would. And I like that collaborative aspect of it. I like lots of cool people making stuff. Not necessarily decent music. One of my favourite singers is a guy called Daniel Johnston, whose recording quality is abysmal, like genuinely awful. He recorded it on one of these boom boxes in the 80s, but his songwriting is incredible. He's one of the best songwriters. Kurt Cobain thought so as well. Russell Brand was on Desert Island Discs a while ago and chose one of Daniel Johnston's songs. It's not necessary, but it's helpful. Very helpful. I wouldn't consider myself a musician. The chap who came in and did drums yesterday was a musician. He wrote everything down and got really, yeah, he wrote everything down. He was very, very professional about it. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He had a very fine ear for his drum parts. I'm a guy who plays an instrument and sings. There's a distinction. I mean, I can sing, but I can't do a great deal else musically. Certainly during a live set, the guitar is there almost as an inconvenience. It's kind of like, oh god, I have to do something else. It's something for my hands to do. And it sounds kind of nice. But I'm a guy who plays an instrument. I guess I'm more of a YouTuber because there's not as much of a defined thing. Being a YouTuber is not as defined as being a musician. There's no such thing as an expert YouTuber, whereas there is an expert musician. There are two, and they're very, very distinct. Listening to an album, a recorded piece of music, and going to a live show are two very, very different things. And as a result, my studio stuff and my live stuff are completely different. Like when we're recording, it's a very sort of precious thing. You know, you labour over every small thing to make sure it's absolutely perfect. But with a live show, it's much more energetic. Like oh god, I love singing live because it's much more energetic, and I'm much better at singing live than in the studio. I'm much better at doing that. Whereas with recorded music, you have to make sure everything's perfect, and it still may be shit. It still may be horrific. The community, I think. YouTube wasn't designed for a community in any sense. It was designed. I think the sort of tagline was for a long time with YouTube. It was broadcast yourself.
Yeah.
The idea that everyone will be in their own little bubble, doing their thing. YouTube didn't expect the community side to come out. I don't think at all. Not in the way that it has. Because art forms just don't do that. It's very much. If I look at like an Usher video, I'm gonna buy Usher's single and everything more or less is circling around the cult of Usher. But there's something very fixed with the traditional music industry, whereas with YouTube, it's not quite as fixed. There's definitely an element to that. You know, there's Alex Day doing his thing, Charlie doing his thing, Tom Scott doing his thing, Savannah Amazing doing her thing, whatever. But there's also a much more social aspect to it. YouTube at the moment is much more of a collaborative thing. It's a little bit like the Wu-Tang Clan or Odd Future or someone, where Tyler the Creator or RZA will do their own thing. You know, they'll release albums as they'll release solo albums, but they'll also have Old Dirty Bastard or Taco Bennett or Earl Sweatshirt on their albums as well. It's a similar idea. Hazel Hayes recently released her short film, her zombie flick, which is really fantastic. But it had so many other people who I wouldn't necessarily have, who would have definitely associated with Hazel Hayes and her thing. But I didn't know all of them knew each other. You know, like she knows Charlie, who knows Tom Scott, who knows everyone. It's really interesting. That's sort of, and definitely that big UK YouTuber clique, but also smaller ones like Draja, and I don't know whether I saw Rob last night. Rob, I can't remember his YouTube name. Rob Koch. You know, that sort of gang. You know, they do their own thing. Oh, and Sammy Ichabod Productions, who's really fantastic. You know, that sort of gang as well is doing their thing as well. YouTube didn't expect the community, and I get the sense that it's a little bit more uncomfortable with it than it's letting on. But long live the community. Long live. I love the collaborative aspect of it. I also like having lots of people watch my face. But you know, as I said earlier, there is definitely that aspect to it. Having other people appreciate something that you put lots of time and work into. I recorded a song called Transmission by Joy Division on the melodica, which is like a sort of accordion which you blow into. But I was first year of uni, and there was so much going on up here. I didn't intend to do music on YouTube at all for a long time. There's so much going on up here that I was really inspired by Albus Dumbledore has his pensive in Harry Potter. He has his pensive where he just ejects all of his memories and all of his thoughts that he's not using at that time. He just pops them there. That's how Dumbledore is a wonderful character. You know, that's how he keeps control. But at the time, I had so much going on up there that I was going crazy. So I decided to talk about sociology that I was studying. I talked about sociology and logic and world issues and stuff like that. I started YouTube as a means of getting everything that was in here out there. So that was the capsule, and it was a fun way of doing it as well. The first music I did on that channel is me and my friend Rose, and we did a Mouldy Peaches song called Lazy Confessions, which was really, really great. Oh god, yes, oh, so good. It was more. Oh yeah. There's this music thing that I do. Oh yeah. Put the two together. Yeah. It was, I like the songs that I put on there. I put on Dear Douglas as soon as I wrote it. It took about 2 hours to do this 2-minute segment because I was just messing up all the time. And I put all of my music on there acoustically whilst it's fresh. Again, as a sort of pensive idea, to sort of take that out and pop it on a platform where it can be critiqued and where it can be where people can view it for the first time. It'd be excellent. At the moment, I have no aims in the music industry. If Excel or Rough Trade or Def Jam ring me up and say, here, yeah, have this record label, I won't object. And YouTube will if that does happen, it will probably be through YouTube or the internet or something of that ilk. It's not unheard of. But at the moment, I have no ambitions within the music industry itself. I love playing music. My brothers have really gotten into it. I've really gotten into YouTube. It's like really gotten into YouTube. It's really bizarre, yeah. My younger brothers think it's the best thing in the world. And my dad likes it. My dad likes what I do, but doesn't. My dad likes it and understands it to an extent. My mum understands that I do music. She understands that YouTube is a thing. But computers generally aren't her thing. As far as my mum goes, it's YouTube is one of those things that people do, but my granddad, on the other hand, my granddad is one of those whiz kids. So he Googles my name occasionally and knows that I do the YouTube bits and bobs, and was really very interested in it for a long time, until the last time he came down. If you search my name in the Masturbation Blues comes up. So last time he came down, he said, I looked you up on Google, and it's like, oh shit. And he said, you were right to blush. I was like, oh god. So yeah, that's the extent. As far as the music goes, I don't think my family have strong opinions on it. My dad likes what I do sometimes.